har meget muligt.
And in these past 7 weeks, we've been working with addiction. At first, we weren't really sure where the whole thing was going, but we ended up focusing on alcohol.
Addiction has long been understood as an uncontrollable habit of using alcohol or other drugs. More recently, we've realized that people can also develop addiction to behaviors such as gambling and even quite necessary activities such as exercise and eating.
What these activities have in common is that the person doing them finds them pleasurable in some way. Take for example cigarettes. Cigarettes are probably the most common addictive thing. Smoking is responsible for several diseases such as cancer, lung problems and heart diseases. Of the more than 2.4 million deaths in the US annually, more than 440,000 are caused by smoking.
Another strong addictive thing is gambling. Whether you bet on sports, scratch cards, roulette or poker, gambling can destroy many things, such as your work, relationships, and it can lead to financial catastrophe. You may even do things you thought you would never do before, like stealing money to gamble or pay your rents. Exercise is also a thing one easily can get addicted to. There are many physical and physiological benefits of exercise. So it might seem stupid, but there's also a high risk that an excessive amount of exercise may produce a negative effect for your body, including an unhealthy addiction to it. 8% of gym users are in fact addicted to exercise. They often do exercise in such a great amount that they get a feeling so hurtful that it has the same effect as cutting on their body.
Then of course there's alcohol. It's been a quite huge problem for people of all ages for a longer period of time. But what is alcohol in reality? Many people who drink alcohol are not aware of what it actually is. Well, alcohol is the mood-changing, legal drug.
Active drug in all alcoholic drinks is ethanol. This drug is produced as the fermentation of grains, as whiskey and beer, fruits in wine or cider, and vegetables such as vodka, changing sugars into ethyl alcohol. Why is it we drink the alcohol?
People drink for several reasons. Some like the taste, others the feeling, and some does it because of the peer pressure. Alcohol has effect on different parts of the brain. It affects the cerebellum, which is the center of balance, leading to struggling of walking and keeping balance. It also affects the hypothalamus, which is the middle part of the brain. This increases sexual desire, but also decreases actual performance.
Alcohol also acts in the medulla, which is the yellow part of the brain. This slows the person's breathing rate and decreases body temperature, which can cause death. The liver is the second largest organ in our bodies, and it's located under your ribcage on the right side and weighs about 3 pounds. The liver performs many jobs in our bodies. It processes what you eat and drink into food and energy your body can use. It also removes harmful substances from your blood. Alcohol can damage or destroy liver cells.
The liver breaks down the alcohol so it can be removed from your body. Your liver can become injured or seriously damaged if you drink way more alcohol than the liver can process. How does the liver progress from alcohol? Many heavy drinkers will progress from fatty liver disease to alcoholic hepatitis to alcoholic cirrhosis. However, some heavy drinkers may develop cirrhosis without having alcoholic hepatitis first. Heavy drinkers will also have a chronic liver disease, such as hepatitis C, or at a higher risk for developing cirrhosis.
The central nervous system is responsible for some of the main functions of the body. But with an excessive amount of alcohol, the nervous system will be affected in a bad way. Alcohol is originally a drug that is used to stun people. So just by saying that, you can clearly hear that too much of it can be very dangerous. Heavy drinkers don't think about the effects of the alcohol on their own body because they're used to it. And many alcoholics also have a chronic decreased reaction time. And in some cases, the nervous system can get so damaged that it has this, that the whole body shakes and they can't sit still for a longer period of time.
This is also why some alcoholics can look like they're drunk all the time, even though they're actually sober. Because they have all of these chronic damages, most alcoholics can't ever act like a normal person ever again. Many young people drink for the effect or to be involved in the grown-ups world. There are also many who think that they have to drink to be accepted in social settings. Some also drink to overcome shyness. Alcohol loosens up inhibitions and allows a greater self-confidence. So it's, for example, easier to get in touch with the other sex or strangers in general.
As many as 25% of all Danes under 15 have during the past year tried to drink so much that they have had a large memory loss, also called a blackout, the day after. But it has also been a huge topic and has been discussed very much and very often. So because of all that, the young Danes has actually been drinking less alcohol in the past couple of years, but they still have the European record of drinking alcohol.
How long does it take to rehab from an addiction? According to Kit Andersen, who's an SSP-medarbejder, which is short for Skole, Social og Politik, it's the rest of the life. For someone addicted to alcohol, being clean takes about a week. Heroin is 3 days, and hash is 3 months. Getting to the bones of an addiction is at least 2 years of conversations and just lots of help in general. We also asked Kit about which kind of persons it was most difficult to work with, and she told us that people who wouldn't realize that they had a problem was quite impossible to work with. So if you know someone with an addiction, the first thing you have to do is make them realize that this is a problem and this is an addiction. Without that, they can't get any help. You can read more about the interview in our file.
Our experiment was simple. We wanted to investigate how the relaxing time was affected by intake of alcohol. To do that, we needed adults, 1 male and 1 female. First, we tested their sober reaction time by dropping the ruler just above their hand. They were supposed to catch the ruler as fast as possible.
After doing this test time, those adults were supposed to drink a can of beer. And after half an hour, we tested their reaction time again. We repeated this until both adults had 3 drinks. This graph shows the reaction time of a male experiment while he's sober. In average, he took 21.2 centimeters to catch the ruler. After 1 beer, the average went up to 21.4. After the second beer, it went back down to 21.2, and after the third and last beer and last half an hour, the average was up at 21.8.
Our female experiment went from 5.2 to 7.45 and down to 4.8 centimeters. And when all 3 beers were gone, the average of her relaxing time was 11.5. You can see some pictures of our experiment on the board, and the female graphs are in our project file. In this exhibition, our goal was to find out if alcohol has an effect on our body and brain, both when it comes to diseases, long-term effects and relaxing time. After our experiment, we can clearly see that the average for the male's reaction time is much steadier than for the females.
We can also see that the female has a reaction time a lot faster than the male does. And we can conclude that the reaction time in fact becomes slower after intake of alcohol. We would like to say thank you to all of those who have helped us during this exhibition. First of all, thanks to Elsine for giving us this big task and for guiding us through it. We've learned a lot.
Also thanks to our parents, because she's helped us handling the stress and because she's backed us up. Thank you to Stark Store, because you gave us the material that we needed, and special thanks to Michael, my dad, because he took time to help us. Thanks to Kit Andersen, because she allowed us to make an interview with her, and of course thanks to you for listening to our presentation.